This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. It's a Technique Tuesday, and in this lesson I'm going to be throwing out a technique tidbit. The technique tidbit that I'm going to be covering is 3 fundamental strumming patterns that we use for 4/4 time. So in the hundreds, probably even a couple thousand more students I've taught in person over the last 20-ish years, in the method books, these 3 strumming patterns are just at the center of getting down a great strumming technique, and actually they work and are used continually in all sorts of songs through lots of different genres, lots of different styles. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. I've got them written up here on the board. This symbol, by the way, if you're not familiar, means to do a down strum, and then a V like a U represents an up strum. So we see those above the rhythmic notation. I'm going to be helping us out, but I do have them written up here on the board. So look at this top one first. This one goes down, down, up, down, down, up. 1, 2, up, 3, 4, up. 1, 2, up, 3, 4, up. It's great to apply this to a chord progression. I've just written up here G, E minor, C, and D, as that's a great chord progression just to run anything through. So if we apply that to a strumming pattern, or to a chord progression, we'd have 1, 2, re, D, and we got G. We'll just do one measure per chord, E minor, C, and D. We're going to do it one more time. G, E minor, C, and D. Now, as I explained in the lesson where I talked about the strumming technique, we can do each one of these with a swung rhythm or with a straight eighths or even eighth note rhythm. I was just doing it with an even eighth note rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and everything gets the same amount of time. When we do a swung rhythm, we take these eighth notes that are on the offbeats. We have 2 of them, one on the end of 2, one on the end of 4, and we push them further back into the beat, so there's sort of a delay, and that would sound like down, down, up, down, down, up. Depending on the song, we might want to swing the rhythm, or we might want to have an even eighth note rhythm. So I'll play it again with the swung eighth note. So you have 1, 2, ready, and we got G, E minor, C, and D, G, E minor, C, D, just like that. Now there are times where that strumming pattern works great when there's 1 chord per measure. Sometimes we may play a song where we really want that. This chord progression is also especially great when there are 2 chords per measure, which is something that we run into from time to time. So if we were to take that chord progression that we were just playing, G, E minor, C, and D, and make it so G and E minor were in the same chord, or same measure, and then C and D were in the same measure, we would have G, swung with them, 2, red, D, and we'd have G, E minor, C, and D, G, E minor, C, and D, just like that. So that's that strumming pattern. Let's look at the next one. So the next one, we had down, down, up, same thing we had with this first one, but now for beats 3 and 4, we're going to do down, up, down, up. So 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up. If we got 1 chord per measure with our chord progression G, E minor, C, and D, we'd have 1, 2, ready, and we got G, E minor, C, and D. also do it with a swung rhythm. 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up. Ready, and G, E minor, C, and D, G, E minor, C, and D, just like that. Now this chord progression, or this strumming pattern, actually works when there are 2 chords per bar as well. Sometimes it works nicely. We just do the first chord over the first half and the second chord over the second half. So if we do G, E minor as if it's one measure and C and D as if it's one measure, we'd have ready and G, E minor, C, D, G, E minor, C, D. Yeah, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, just like that. And we can swing it too. 2, ready, and. That's how that one works. If we take a look at the third one, we're going to add a little syncopation by tying together the end of 2 and right where the 8th note falls on beat 3. So this one's down, down, up, up, down, up. This is perhaps the most universal strumming pattern I'm aware of. Works in so many different styles, works with so many different songs. So we'd have, with G, E minor, C, and D, 1 measure per chord. We'd have 1, 2, ready, and we'd have G, E minor, C, and D, and G, E minor, C, and D, just like that. Or we could do it with a swung rhythm, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. G, E minor, C, D, G, E minor, C, and D. There we are. Now, with this strumming pattern, when there's 2 chords per measure, a lot of times it works really well to just use the first half. So to essentially use what we were doing in the top measure when there's measures with 1 chord. And so when there's measures with 2 chords, and then use the full strumming pattern when there's measures with 1 chord. So just for example, if we put G and E minor together in a measure, and then have C and D have their own measure, we'd have G, E minor, and then we could have C and D. Again, you'd have G, E minor, and then C and D. So that's how that would work. Or with a strum, if it was if we were swinging the strumming pattern, we'd have down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. Alternatively, if we weren't just going to use the first half, which is the same as the first half of that top pattern and the same as the first half of that second pattern, then what we could do is actually anticipate. So that second chord would come in right on beat 3. We're going to anticipate it by doing it on the initial up strum. So we would have down, down, up, down, up. So let's do it as if each one of these chords was only half a measure. So G and E minor together, and then C and D together. And if we do it with an even eighth note rhythm, it would sound like 1, 2, ready, and G, E minor, C, D, G, E minor, C, D, G, E minor, C, D, just like that. Or if it was swung to ready and G, E minor, C, D, G, E minor, C, D. I tend to think that works better most of the time with the swung eighth note rhythms because this is pushed all the way back into the beat, so it's almost on the beat anyway. But I don't always like it for the even eighth note sound. What then works, as we've talked about, is to use just that first half, which if the whole song had 2 chords per bar, then we'd just be using the top strumming pattern anyway. So these are fundamental strumming patterns. You could practice them at lots of different tempos, different chord progressions. Nice and simple chord progressions that you can play over and over is a great way to do it. So I hope that helps. Hope you're having fun. We'll do more Technique Tuesday tidbits every Tuesday as we move forward. And we also got Theory Thursday lessons and the mini course lessons that come out on Saturdays. So lots of great lessons. And of course, there's all the ones that are already on the channel. So lots of things to help you with guitar. Hope you're having fun. Take care, and we'll see you again.
If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.